Hi everybody, welcome to Wildlife Drawing with Alicia Dianne. I am Alicia Dianne and I want to be going to be showing you guys some drawings today that I have been working on. I'm going to start with some giraffe drawings. Turn down the volume on my television. But I hope you guys are all doing well. I know that this is certainly a challenging time for many of us. I just hope that you guys are really pushing through. It's been a difficult couple of weeks for me. I'm not gonna lie. It's been like, I mean, first of all, if it's just like if you are, I think conscious at all, you're probably not in the best place. We've been quarantined for 3 months now. Hold on, is this thing going? Let's see, make sure that my actual drawing is actually okay. I think it's going now. It wasn't going for a second, but I mean, this is just like a difficult time. There's riots in the streets. There's protesters, there are people dying. I mean, every couple of days I'm hearing about someone else who was killed, and it's just a sad and difficult time for all of us. So what are we supposed to do with all of the stress and all of the things that go along with that? I don't even know. I want to tell you guys what to do, but I'm still trying to figure it out. I've been incredibly stressed out by the entire fact that we still have to be saying that Black Lives Matter. We still have to be saying that this is important. Pay attention. You know, police brutality has been going on since I mean, we're about to have Juneteenth, so I think it was, what year was slavery abolished? 1865. So that's probably the same year that we started having police brutality. I mean, it's just a sad thing. I hate to, like, I'm not trying to darken anyone's mood by having to talk about these sorts of things, but I think it's shallow if I just brushed it off like they're not affecting me, or they're not affecting you, or they're not affecting all of us, really. So I think it is important to talk about. I mean, we're doing some things that are more fun and light, like drawing animals is something that brings me joy, and hopefully if you're watching this, it probably brings you joy as well. But I just think that it's important to kind of talk about things, and I've been pretty outspoken in my post and things that I've been sharing that I think are worthy of seeing or reading or whatever the case is. I just felt like, for me, not being silent about these issues would not really be being authentic, because these are things that really affect me and how I feel, and obviously thousands of other people throughout the country and the world who are also affected, and really been on edge since the dying of George Floyd, and people who also, including myself, have been talking about really social injustices long before the passing of George Floyd. So, with that being said, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? I think the most important thing to understand, especially if you're not a person of color, I know that every type of person has been a part of my groups, and I appreciate every type of person from every cultural background, and I hope that you are not made to feel uncomfortable by these sorts of conversations. I hope that you're not made to feel judged, or like that people like me who do support Black Lives Matter are not out here to criticize everyone who is not of our ethnicity. We're just wanting to say what we need to say, and that is that, you know, our lives are not being valued in the way that we feel they need to be. But it doesn't mean that we are out here like criticizing people or trying to separate. We're trying to bring us together. And I think that just even though it's uncomfortable, it doesn't mean that it's uncomfortable for the wrong reasons. It's uncomfortable for a good cause, and it's uncomfortable in order to create positive change. So I hope that reads clear, and I hope that a lot of people do get it. I think that most people do get it, and most people are understanding and even empathetic with these things that have bothered us all. But I think that there are a couple people that are some peoples that don't really understand, and that's, I guess, who I'm trying to talk to. If you are in that group, just, I don't want anyone to feel like, I don't know. Is that what I'm trying to say? I guess I'm just trying to explain it. But I don't know, maybe I don't need to. Maybe whoever needs to understand already does, and whoever doesn't want to understand either won't, or maybe they'll come, maybe eventually more people will be understanding and empathetic. But we'll see what happens. I mean, watching like the news or any like show that's talking about issues is kind of like, I don't know, it feels like watching a horror movie or watching or just like what is gonna happen next. I don't know, it's kind of crazy, but I don't know that the world will ever be exactly the same as it was before. I'll say that, but it can be better. I'm hopeful that it will be better. I'm hopeful that things will continue to change for the positive, and I hope that you are as well, because I think that in all, the spirit of just wanting to connect and wanting to understand, and the spirit of love, I think, is stronger than the spirit of hate. That's what I think. But we'll see. People will continue to protest as long as it's necessary, and we'll just have to learn and listen a little more every time. But what do we do in the meantime? We can draw. I really hope that you guys heard the message that I was talking about last time. Last week was kind of difficult for me, so I never actually got to record the cartoony animals that I was meant to do last Monday. But hopefully, I can make it up. I'm not sure that I will. I don't want to make promises that I can't keep. I was planning to, and I posted that on the meetup group. But unfortunately, it was just a difficult week for me. To be honest, it was a really challenging week to get through. And I guess everyone has their own difficulties because of this, combined with quarantine and people being sick. It's just a lot to deal with at once. So we're all managing and figuring out how to deal with it in our own ways. So I just hope that you understand how I feel also. But anyway, I just feel really disconnected from the artist community at this time. I don't feel like I've been around any other artists it's been months since I've been around other artists. I'm planning to change and reorganize my meetup group to meet, to really focus on the needs of artists of color, because I feel like it's so necessary in this time. I want to help. Of course, I want to benefit. I hope that all artists prosper. I hope that all artists succeed. But I can't necessarily, I can only put my energy towards so many things, and I have to focus on what I think is, I guess the greatest need for what I can see, for what I can contribute to. So that's where I'm at. But I don't know. I don't know where you guys are all at. Or what your thoughts are, or how you can benefit. I don't know what your goals are in your artistic journey. Maybe we can figure that out together. You can share some of your goals or some of your needs with what you need or want. But I don't know. I'm wondering like how many people are interested in. I mean, wildlife drawing to me is just it's a jumping point. It's kind of like, I guess, where I feel comforted in a lot. I don't know. I don't know if that makes total sense, but that's how I felt comforted in. But I don't know about you guys. How do you feel with it? Let's see. Giraffes. I don't know how many different species of giraffes there are, but I know that there's a few. There's a few of them. My computer was going really slow this morning. I was trying to figure out what the problem was. I think it might be, I don't know if it's time that I need a new computer completely, but it feels that way because my computer has been going so slow. It took like 30 minutes just to start today. I don't know what the heck that was about, but that's where we're at. Good news is there's allegedly supposed to be reopening of the zoo. I got an email from LA Zoo, and they are planning to reopen tentatively in July. They don't have a specific date yet, and it's not like a hard, definite yes. But just the fact that they're starting to move in that direction, or like really having a plan to reopen in the summer, I think that's really great. I think that's a really good thing. I wonder who's been taking care of how they've been caring for the animals all this time with no one, with like who has decided to actually go and actually do it, who has decided to actually take care of the animals. How did they pick that? I don't know. So basically I just got all of these different photographs from Pinterest, as you can probably tell by now. But that was, I don't know, I think Pinterest sometimes has better photo references from just doing plain regular Google search. Also, I think like if you really want to, I think the best photos are on Instagram, honestly, for references. I'm noticing that more and more as I start to look for different references and I start to find different references. I'm seeing that there's a lot of really good ones on Instagram. I think it's always best if you can draw from your own photographs, but that's so difficult because I mean there's so many things that we draw from that are, you know, like I don't have access to see a giraffe all the time to take photographs. I don't have access to see all the different things that I want to draw in my photo library. But I mean the fact is that every photograph is its own piece of art in a way, and so essentially we're referencing from photographs. It is still kind of copying, but I mean the best thing you could do is probably use several photographs, and I've heard different artists talk about using multiple different photographs, so just to kind of like switch up your variety a little bit, so your drawing isn't exactly the same as the photo, but you can avoid that by taking your own photographs. But it's just something to keep in mind, so that when you are able to you do have that opportunity to take the photo, like start carrying your camera on more. I mean, you also have your cell phone. I mean, cell phone works. I mean, actual camera is better, but just keeping in mind, hey, just shoot shots of buildings, take shots of animals whenever you see them, if you're at the zoo, whenever that opens up again. Take photos of your pets to reference, take photos of other people's pets. I just think I'm just starting to realize more and more that I can get all the references I want, and like I said, like Pinterest is better than Google, and Instagram's even better, but the best reference is your own photographs, because then you can use your own shots and you don't have to even think about copyright issues. Whereas if I was to do like a photorealistic drawing of one of these giraffes and try to sell it, that might be a little bit of a copyright issue if I didn't change it in some way. I would have to change it in some way to make it unique or to make it mine. So there's that. Whenever you travel, make sure you take a lot of photos so that you can have them as your own reference. I think that goes back to the point where, like, I think it's good for everyone to travel. I heard so many people say, like, that the cure for, like, prejudices and things like that is to actually travel. You get to see other people, how they live. I mean, if you go with an open mind, I think it's more, if you're just going and you're not, talk to any of the local people or try to get to know their culture, then that's one way. I don't think that will grow you at all. But if you go there and you have an open mind and an open heart, and you actually are interested in learning about the other people's cultures, then that could be really beneficial to you. That could be, if you have an open mind, an open heart. I had to keep saying that again because oh man, you could go there and not learn anything. But what's the point of traveling if you don't want to, like, learn anything about the culture, if you don't want to grow yourself? I just think that's the best way. I haven't traveled anywhere myself in a long time. It's been a few years. But I'm finding out. Let me make sure that I'm on the right track with this. Oh, I had to save it, so I'll skip that part where I'm saving. We don't need to see all the saving part. Okay, there we go. So anyway, can you see the reference that I'm using to draw from? I think you guys can see it. So at the last drawing, I wanted to get a little bit more detailed, and I kind of, went back and forth on just figuring out where to put things on the face, figuring out, I can see where I messed up. The eyes are a little bit off, but I know I went back and forth, and it's the thing, when you're doing your rough drawing, you can be okay with messing up. You can be okay with kind of like it's not gonna look perfect right away. But I started with simple shapes. I have like this rectangle. I have like this hexagon thing for the snout. I really started with basic shapes. And even though it's doesn't come through immediately of like what the final result is going to look like, you can start to see it come through just little by little as I'm drawing it. And you can just start to see it little by little just start to pan out and feel a little bit more smooth and things like that. But you really don't have to worry at all about having it be perfect right away. And if we have time at the end, I'd like to show you guys some actually animation that I've been working on. It's right along line with animal drawing. It's actually cartooning, but it's still pretty cool. Maybe I should save that. Maybe I should share that. Maybe I'll show you guys a little bit of the animation that I've been doing after we get through this giraffe. But I don't have any guide. I don't have any like what's the word? I'm not overthinking the drawing that I'm doing here. I'm just kind of doing a loose, rough drawing, and I think that that's really like the attitude that you kind of need to have when you're doing, especially when you're drawing wildlife on site, and you're right there at the zoo or nature park or wherever drawing animals. You kind of have to be okay with being really loose and not having a perfect drawing right away, because you're gonna have to draw quickly. And that's why I like to share these types of drawings sometimes, just drawing really like quickly, because the animals move, they go all over the place, they kind of have their own, well, they do have their own mind because they are their own living creatures, so they do their own thing, and that's okay. Like, I don't think it's not advisable, I don't think, to like get upset animals start moving, because that's just what they are bound to do. They're bound to start moving, they're bound to, you know, move about all over the place. That's just what they do, just like anyone else. Like, if you look at anyone for I don't necessarily advise staring at people, but if you just observe a person, say they're just, you know, watching TV, or say they're doing something on the computer, they're gonna fidget, they're gonna move, they're gonna adjust themselves, they're gonna get up to get a snack or a soda or whatever the case is before they sit back down. They're gonna do things, and like, no one that is alive sits perfectly still for an extended period of time. Even the animals that kind of just wait in certain spots and they're really good at it, they can stay there for a long time. Eventually they're gonna have to like move or do something. It's just the energy. So I don't know, maybe you can play with that. Maybe you can try and capture different emotions when you're doing your wildlife drawing, especially when you're doing it on site. Try and capture some of that, what is it, the liveliness. I had John's photos of, and they were like these little antelope creatures. I have my iPad with me, but I posted it on Instagram. There's like these little antelope guys, and they kept on moving when I was drawing them, and I just did little actions in my drawing, just like to represent like the tail that was kept on swaying, or like, you know, maybe they're doing something with their head or something like that. You can try and put in some of that detail somehow when you're doing your drawing. It just gives it a little bit more energy, a little bit more life, I think. But you see here with this giraffe that I was sketching, I first did like my rough little doodles with the light green, and then I started going over it with this darker blue color. Actually, those are colors that I was using on my last project, which I was making an ocean, but I decided to just use the same colors for my drawing for today. Just keeping it really simple. Drawing these guys. The little hairs on the back of his neck. Little details. Didn't really take the time with the hair. I should have. Just did very kooky hair. Kind of scribble that in. But I mean, it's just for gesture drawing, just kind of gesture in little things that might not necessarily be incredibly important to the drawing, but just kind of, what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, but there is a word that's like, just to suggest, that's the word, suggest the hair, not necessarily be photorealistic with it, because I don't think that's really necessary, especially with this type of drawing. But it's just fun, you know? So what about you guys? Are you doing any of the giraffe poses? Are you guys doing any giraffe drawings? Is there any of that you could share with me? that's the end of my drawing for that, but it's okay. So what I'm going to do is put myself back, if I can, in a full screen mode. Let's see. I'm not sure how it works. There. Shocked me for a second. I was like, hey, hold on, who's that? Who's that person? Okay, so I'm going to try and pull up some of the animation that I am working on currently. It's for this short film that I'm doing. It is called Cape Dilemma, and I just posted the animatic to YouTube a few days ago. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, you can go ahead and check that out. It's a pretty cool little animatic. It's only 2 minutes long, but it was a short film that I wrote last summer and started last fall in my internship class. And myself and a classmate of mine who was my partner on this project and a previous project, we decided, like, you know, let's go ahead and finish it since we didn't get a full chance to complete it in our semester. So we're just, you know, working on it little by little. Hopefully in the next couple of months we'll have it all done. But I want to show you guys just a little bit of a clip from it. So maybe at some point I'll show some of the animation process, but right now I'm just going to show you guys a clip of like the finished animation. See how you guys like that. Let's see. So I think I just have a short clip for you guys. Let me switch to view. This is on my box file. So this is the clip. Short but sweet. This guy is looking at his little baby egg. He's sweating bullets out here in the hot sun, and then he goes and he looks out. If you guys haven't seen the animatic yet, please go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Alicia Dianne, and you'll be able to see the animatic there. It's 2 minutes. It's a pretty cute little animation. It's about trust and love and new parenthood. I hope you guys can enjoy that. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. Sorry that we couldn't be longer, but I'm glad that I'm at least able to meet with you lovely folks and show you guys a little bit of what I do and a little bit of wildlife drawing. And I hope that you guys spend some time this week drawing animals. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, be grateful, live balanced, and be yourself. See you guys.